Chicago doesn't just create music, it creates movements, and sometimes it creates warnings. This is the city that would give us drill rap, a sound born in the streets, shaped by violence, loyalty, and survival. A scene so raw, so dangerous that most traditional journalists wouldn't even touch it. They stayed behind their desks, they stayed behind the police reports, and they stayed away from the neighborhoods where the stories were actually happening. But one man didn't. Armed with nothing more than a camera and a willingness to go where other journalists wouldn't, he stepped directly into Chicago's most dangerous environments and let the people tell their own stories. He documented rappers before they blew up, rappers days before they were killed, hoods that the media would ignore, and conflicts that nobody wanted to explain. He called himself the Hood CNN, and for a while, that's exactly what he was. His name was Zack Stoner, known to the world as ZackTV. To some, he was just a YouTuber. To others, he was a journalist. To the streets, he was something else entirely. A neutral presence in a city where neutrality didn't exist. And then one night, after years of documenting Chicago's most dangerous stories, ZackTV became the story himself. His death sent shockwaves through the city, changed how hood vloggers moved, changed how journalists cover drill music, and raised a question that still hasn't gone away to this day. Was ZackTV simply caught in a crossfire of the streets that he was documenting, or did he get too close to a story that somebody didn't want told? Because long before his death, ZackTV had begun investigating one of the most controversial and perplexing cases in Chicago's history, a case that pulled in conspiracy theories, national attention, and a powerful interest from anybody who laid their eyes on it. And from that moment on, everything changed. But before we get into how ZackTV died, we need to understand who he was, where he came from, and why Chicago trusted him enough to let him film what nobody else could. This is the story of ZackTV.
Live from the ZackTV, we in the motherfucking trenches with it. ZackTV 1, man, who we got?
Lil Durk, man, in the building. Shout out to ZackTV, we out here.
Man, this motherfucker been long awaited, man. Who we got live on ZackTV, bro?
Hey, man, you already know, man. It's Famous Dex, man.
My man, what's good, Joe? Live in the flesh, we got Chief Keef on ZackTV, man. What's been poppin' with you?
If you ain't know ZackTV, you a nobody.
I think I'm the hood CNN, a media mogul, you know what I'm saying? What I'm doing, nobody ever accomplished. Just a few people that did it. Yeah. They got you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's a dangerous situation, a dangerous job.
Our job is to entertain them, not to be in beef with one another. You feel me? Like, I don't understand. I don't think y'all seeing the real purpose, man. I love everybody out there. I love y'all. I don't got no ops. The ops is any trying to take me from my freedom, take my family away from me, and come between my money. Man, I'm gonna wish y'all much success, man. Stay blessed.
The streets of Chicago, if I can define it, I'ma just say one word, it's survival. If you could survive in the city of Chicago, you could survive anywhere.
Them bullets weren't for Zack, I know that. Zack ain't had no enemies. Them bullets weren't meant for Bo.
ZackTV, real name Zack Stoner, was an independent journalist from the far south side of Chicago. He came from an area known as the Wild 100s, located in the Roseland community. More specifically, Zack was from a section of the Wild 100s known as Goontown, also referred to as 10-5 or Marty Muggy Gang, commonly shortened to MMG.
From 105th and State, 10-5, Dirty Block, Goontown, MMG, where the sun don't shine.
Yo, what part of Chirac you from, though?
I'm from Roseland, Wild Hundreds, man, 10-5, man. One of the worst places in Chicago, man. Listen, man, Wild Hundreds, man. Goontown, Goonie, man. Yeah. We gonna keep that, you know?
Yeah, really?
10-5, I got all this tatted on me, man.
Oh,
10-5, man, you know, that's man, 105th, man, for life, man, on Shannon. Marty Muggy Gang, man.
right.
The Wild 100s have long been associated with both the Gangster Disciples and the Black Disciples, with Goontown often being known as a GD area. There are dozens of other sets throughout the Wild 100s, but the GDs and BDs dominate and have dominated the area for a long time. That said, even though Zack was from the neighborhood, he was never gang affiliated. He didn't bang a set, and he simply just represented the neighborhood that he was from. Zack stayed unaffiliated for his entire life, but that didn't stop him from showing love to the hood, and it didn't stop the hood from showing love back. This could be seen in some of Zack's earliest vlogs, when he first put his camera to work and started documenting the area for the world to see.
Man, this Goontown, man.
Say it again for the people, man.
Goontown, man.
Real talk,
This
real
your boy Rico right here, you know what I'm saying?
105th and State. Don't get it twisted, though. This way everything started, like, on 104th and State, south side of Chicago, Wild Hunters, Rose, and y'all know what it is.
Yeah, this is what we riding out here in the shop.
Shorty getting bread, a female. Y'all know ZackTV just be popping up, man. Oh, hold up, this guy history, man.
Can't move right now.
You on house arrest, Philly?
Yeah, bro, on house arrest.
What's happening, Charlie, man?
They try to get him in that, put him in that jam, you know.
ZackTV Goontown crazy, that's what it is.
That's what's poppin', Joe.
So G crazy. Goontown crazy.
That's what's crazy. What that say, folks?
JD 10-5 Goontown free the guy.
Y'all know what the this is, man. It's ZackTV, man. What school was happening, fool?
ABK crazy, 10-5 cutthroat, free the guy. Ain't with it.
What's your name, Joe?
Oh, JP 10 Trey Goontown crazy.
You already know what it is.
The guy.
It's Wild Hunters, baby, 105th in Michigan, 10-5. I know what it is. That's the police things, you know what I'm saying? They record 10 miles east, northwest, south.
Yeah, you sure did. You stay around there, you mind?
Yeah, man. How you been, man?
I'm blessed, bro.
What's your name for the camera, man?
I'm Herman, man.
It's Herman, man. How long you been living in the Hunters?
40 years.
40 years. That's what's up, man. Hey, Kelly, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. How you doing?
We blessed. Say hey to ZackTV.
Hey, ZackTV. How y'all doing?
Kelly, how long you been working here?
I'm about 17.
17. You remember me when I used to stay over here?
Yeah, I remember you, but a little boy.
A little boy. That's what's up, Kelly. Hytha, how you been, man?
Hey, brother, how are you? How you
I'm
doing?
blessed. I'm blessed. How long you been located right here, Hytha?
About 31 years.
Wow. 31 years, man. Going strong. 31 years going strong, man. 104th and State, that's the block.
Those early vlogs from the neighborhood are where Zack really started carving his path in hood journalism. From the jump, it was clear that Zack had a bigger vision. He wanted better for himself and he wanted better for the people around him. One of the smartest decisions that Zack made early on was staying out of gang life. In a city where that choice alone can change the direction of your future, Zack stayed focused, and that mindset carried into everything that he did. Eventually, Zack was able to leave the area when he decided to pursue higher education, not just once, but twice. While still connected to the streets and the culture, he was actively building towards something bigger than where he came from.
Y'all don't let this entertainment get y'all f***ed up or get y'all lost out here. Don't become another lost. We don't need any more statistics, man. We need lawyers, doctors, police officers. Yes, not the crooked cops, the real police officers. We need y'all to become stand-up individuals in the city of Chicago, man. School isn't for everybody. I'm not going, you know what I'm saying? I went to school, you know what I'm saying? I went to college, you know what I'm saying? Got 2 degrees, but school is the key.
But even after finishing college, Zack didn't take his degrees and head into the corporate world. Instead, he saw an opportunity right back in the city that he came from. With nothing more than a camera, he continued documenting the streets of Chicago, going directly into neighborhoods most people only read about in police reports. He focused on the people living in these areas and telling their stories as they were, without fillers or outside narratives. A lot of the time, Zack wasn't just interviewing people, he was trying to push them in a better direction. That side of Zack showed up often, especially when he was talking to younger people who found themselves caught up in the streets. You could hear this clearly in this moment right here when he interviews a youngin named Lil D.
Of course.
Wow.
Come get you some lunch.
Damn.
Of course.
Okay, so tell me this, brother. Are you in school right now?
Yeah, I'm in school. I ain't gonna let this street fill my school.
13 tattoos, weed, liquor.
Man, this is worse than this.
Yeah, what you think is worse than this, big dog?
Never know, you know?
You ever heard of Yummy Sandifer, bro, from the Hundreds? Lil Yummy, going around whacking, going crazy.
Crazy.
But I don't want that life for you, shorty. I ain't gonna lie. I get a nice amount to put rappers on. I don't want you out here. I don't want you to be a rapper. I want you to be better than me, bro. I want you to be better than Obama, better than everybody, because I know you got it. You still got your whole life ahead of you.
After that interview, Zack tried to stay involved in Lil D's life, even taking him clothes shopping for school and trying to show him a different path. Moments like that matter, but those early vlogs also did something bigger. They laid the foundation for what ZackTV would become. Zack started documenting the streets because he had access. access to the blocks, access to the people, and access to the stories on his side of the city. But that access didn't stay on his side for long. At the time, almost nobody was willing to go into these neighborhoods and actually document what life looked like from the inside, and the people that were there really weren't willing to share it with anybody that did come. Zack was different. He was willing to go into these areas and they were willing to share their stories. And as his platform grew, so did his reach. Blocks from all over Chicago started wanting to work with Zack. Some people wanted to tell their stories, others wanted the visibility or clout that came from being on his platform, and before long, Zack was moving through neighborhoods all across the city, interviewing both the people and the rappers that came out of them. And this was right as drill music was starting to take off, and his videos played a role in pushing some of these artists into the spotlight. It was a dangerous job, but Zack stayed neutral wherever he went. He didn't pick sides. He didn't instigate the beefs that the music was made about. He didn't play and pick favorites. He just showed up, asked questions, and let whoever was in front of the camera speak for themselves. Because of that, people began to trust Zack. And in a city where neutrality didn't exist, Zack became one of the few people who could move freely between all of these different neighborhoods. As he grew, so did the artist he was putting on camera. Some of his biggest interviews include Chief Keef, before Chief Keef really blew up, Rondo Number 9 and L.A. Capone, FBG Duck, OTF Newski, Lil Durk, Tay 600, and the list goes on and on. It felt like Zack interviewed every rapper in the city at one point. And it also made sense that Zack gravitated towards the rappers because at one point he wanted to be a rapper himself. He dropped music, recorded songs, and even chased the rap dream for a short time. But once his vlog started gaining traction, he made the pivot.
A lot of people don't know I used to do this rap shit, man, before I did this ZackTV shit, man. Breakfast, anyone? I bring toast in the room. Your man standing there like he's supposed to be gone. Fully getting money? Well, we poking him soon. You don't want to get hit? Stand clear like it's a ghost in the room. Catch him in the real family thinking he planking. Big rappers in the hundreds, call me Benjamin Franklin. Be careful on state. Hit that K9 barking. I'ma die, put my hood on, I'm Trayvon Martin.
Looking back, that shift probably saved his life, at least for a little while, because drill music was blowing up, and because of how real it was, the violence, the beefs, the street politics, instead of being another rapper on the front lines dissing his ops, Zack became something else entirely. He became a vehicle that these rappers would use to get their message out. His platform turned into a launch pad, a place where artists introduced themselves, told their side of the stories, and gained attention that they really couldn't get anywhere else. Everybody wanted to be on ZackTV, but Zack understood how dangerous that space was becoming. In one video, he tells a story about a rapper who saved up money just to book an interview with him and begged him basically to do it immediately because waiting a week or two might be too late. In the climate that drill music had created, tomorrow was never guaranteed for these guys.
Then his man on FaceTime was like, Zack, let's get up, man. Well, the band, this money, I talked to you a year ago, but we weren't financially stable. Now I got that money. I've been saving ever since. I got that bag for you. Oh yeah, you trying to get the interview? Yeah. I say, bro, hit my email up, set that up with my manager. We gonna converse and we gonna get in tune with you within the next 2 to 3 weeks. The man was like, bro, in our reality, this Chicago, aka Chirac, ain't no telling if I'ma still be alive tomorrow, let alone 2 or 3 weeks. He like, I wanna do it like now. Like tonight, like I'm going through a lot of shit. I don't know if I'm gonna get killed. He telling me a real life. He like, man, my whole dream, my goal was to get on ZackTV. He telling me this, and I'm like, just serious, like that's some deep shit, like for real.
Over time, ZackTV's platform became the premier destination for drill artists to do interviews. And when drill rap went national, so did ZackTV, eventually traveling outside of Chicago and interviewing drill rappers who were starting to pop up in different places, like New York. Around that same time, we started seeing bloggers from different parts of the country adopt a similar style of content. Sean Cotton from Say Cheese TV is a good example. He saw what Zack was doing and applied that same approach in places like Texas. At this point, Zack's influence was undeniable. Most people view him as the original hood vlogger, the person who created that lane that countless journalists use now. But that influence came with real risk, and Zach knew exactly what he was walking into every time he stepped into a neighborhood with the camera and decided to film. He wasn't naive about the danger, and he didn't pretend that it didn't exist.
Zach was big on safety. If you know Zach, you will know that he big when it comes to being safe. When he first came to the Gardens, you know, that's all he did was heard about what was going on out there in the hood. Like, he never did an interview in the Garden. So he asked me more than 5 times, is I'm straight, right? I'm gonna be safe, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, he big on safety.
I'm from the city of Chicago, man. To be aware is to be alive. If I don't got it, best believe somebody that's with me got it. Every interview I ever conducted for these past 3, 4, 5 years have been strapped. And don't get it twisted, man. You run up, get your goof ass smoked.
Even when Zach was alive, other rappers were warning him in real time that what he was doing couldn't last forever without putting his life at risk. Chicago rapper Rico Reckless said in a ZackTV interview that he warned Zach to stop popping out and doing these hood vlogs because he was simply getting too big.
Last time I saw Zach, they wanted me to come to the high school and talk to the kids. He already doing shit like that now. Corporate was there, ZackTV, 4 of them, they was all there. I go there to talk to the kids. ZackTV come there. I tell Zach, I might say, Zach, your ass at a different level now. You need to start elevating your shit, bro. This what you need to do, bro. Business-wise, you need to get one location, bro, and make come there for an interview, bro, and expand your brand, bro. I'm telling you, bro, just like all the majors are doing. His ass like, all right, you right. All right, you like, and then he still putting up on, you know, like, it's just, you know.
But Zach never slowed down. He kept doing hood vlogs. He kept trying to put people on. And once he essentially reached the top, he started taking an interest in another side of journalism and tried to branch out. That shift pretty much began and ended with the case of Kenneka Jenkins.
There are still no answers for the family of a Chicago woman whose body was discovered in a hotel freezer over the weekend. And as CBS 2's Mai Martinez reports, police aren't saying much about the investigation.
What happened inside the Crowne Plaza Chicago O'Hare? That's the question many are asking of hotel management after the body of Kenneka Jenkins was found in a freezer early Sunday morning.
If you've seen her going to a freezer or being carried to a freezer, then you need to prove that.
The 19-year-old's family talked to reporters a few hours after the heartbreaking discovery.
That's my baby sister. I cannot live life knowing I'll never see her.
Family members went to the hotel but say staff told them a missing persons report needed to be filed in order to look at surveillance video. The family says police also weren't helpful, but eventually looked at the video and told them,
"We saw her on the video at 3:20 a.m. in the morning, staggering." His exact words. She was so drunk that she couldn't hold herself up. She was holding on to the wall. She stumbled into the refrigerator, then she closed the door behind her.
Martin believes if someone had looked at the video sooner, her daughter could have been saved.
To me, I feel like they helped kill my child. The police department and this hotel.
In 2017, Kenneka Jenkins, a 19-year-old woman, was found dead inside a freezer at the Crowne Plaza Chicago O'Hare Hotel in Rosemont, Illinois. Her death immediately drew massive media attention, and speculation around what really happened sent the internet down a very deep and very dark rabbit hole. And before long, ZackTV found himself right in the middle of it. Now, for the ZackTV story to fully make sense, I have to dive into the Kenneka Jenkins case because some people believe Zach's effort to help uncover the truth about her death played a role in his own demise. Now, there's another theory that we're going to touch on later, but there's no way to tell the ZackTV story without explaining how all of this ties together. So I won't go into every theory about Kenneka's story. If I did, this video would be like 4 or 5 hours long, but I am going to hit on all the important aspects of her case so that when we talk about Zach's interest in the case, it makes sense. On the night of Friday, September 8, 2017, Kenneka Jenkins went out with a small group of friends to celebrate a birthday. The party was being held at the Crown Plaza Chicago O'Hare Hotel in Rosemont, Illinois. Kanika arrived at the hotel at around 1:13 a.m. with 3 friends, Monifa, Bree, and Maya. Kanika was using her mother's car that night and had planned to be the group's designated driver. They went up to the 9th floor, room 926, and despite the room being relatively small, reports and social media videos later showed that as many as 30 people were inside this room. Music were playing, people were drinking, and videos posted that night showed Kanika laughing, talking, and appearing normal when she first arrived. At around 1:30 a.m., Kanika sent a text message to her sister, and that would be the last time that her family would ever hear from her. According to the people who were at the party, Kanika only had a small amount to drink, 1 cup. But at some point during the night, her friends noticed that she began to appear disoriented. She was swaying while standing and eventually bumped into furniture inside the room. At around 3 o'clock in the morning, Kanika told her friends that she was ready to leave. And as the group headed out into the hallway, Kanika realized that she had left her keys and other belongings inside the room. 2 of her friends went back inside to grab them and told Kanika to wait in the hallway. They say that they were gone for less than a minute. When they returned, Kanika was nowhere to be found. At first, they assumed she may have gone downstairs to the lobby or stepped off to use the bathroom, but after checking the bathrooms in the lobby, nobody had seen her. They went back up to the room and told the others at the party that Kanika was missing, and according to the people who were there, the concern wasn't immediate. Some brushed it off, saying that they were in a hotel and she couldn't have gone far, but as time passed, panic began to set in. Between roughly 3 o'clock in the morning and 4:30, Kanika's friends can be seen on hotel surveillance footage, searching the hallways, riding elevators, and looking through different floors trying to find their friend. Kanika's mother, Teresa Martin, was at home asleep at this time. She had been recovering from chemotherapy treatments after battling breast cancer and was heavily medicated that night. But while she was asleep in the early morning hours of September the 9th, she received a phone call that would change her life for forever. Kanika's friends told her mother that they simply couldn't find her. To Teresa, none of their story made sense. She immediately tried calling her daughter's phone, but another person answered, one of Kanika's friends, and said that they had her phone because she had left it. That's when the reality started to sink in. Kanika wasn't just running late, she was actually missing. They had the keys to her car too, so Teresa told the friends to bring everything back to her house immediately. When they arrived, Teresa questioned them about what happened, and she told them that she wasn't accusing anyone directly, but made it clear that every person who had been in the hotel room was now a suspect in her eyes. If Kanika was really their friend, she believed that they should have made sure that she was safe. According to the friends, they tried to report Kanika missing to the hotel staff earlier, but they were told that they needed to leave and get off the premises and that the police would be called if they continued to cause a disturbance. Teresa got in her car and drove straight to the Crown Plaza Hotel in Rosemont. When Teresa arrived at the hotel later that morning, she says that she was met with resistance almost immediately. She told the front desk that her daughter had been missing for hours and that the last place she was seen was inside the hotel. And according to Teresa, the hotel staff told her that they had no record of Kanika being a guest and that if her daughter was missing, it was a police matter, not theirs. So they told her to go file a missing persons report, but when Teresa contacted the Rosemont Police Department, she was told that she needed to wait longer before she could file a missing persons report because Kanika was 19 years old, a legal adult, and had only been missing for a few hours. That response didn't sit right with Teresa. Desperate for help, she called 911 directly from the parking lot. On the call, Teresa explained that her daughter had been at a party at the Crown Plaza Hotel and hadn't been seen for several hours. She asked if officers could be dispatched to check the hotel security cameras. The dispatcher suggested that Kanika may have went somewhere else with other friends and told Teresa to wait longer before the police could take action, but Teresa pushed back. She explained that Kanika had her car, that her friends didn't know where she was, and that something wasn't right because the friends had her car and her cell phone. But still, no officers were immediately dispatched to search the hotel. At that point, Kanika had been missing for roughly 3 to 4 hours.
911, where's the address of your emergency?
Yes, I'm at the Crown Plaza at O'Hare Airport, and I was calling because my daughter came to a party here last night, a gathering with her friends, and now her friends, they say that they left her on the front of the hotel and she's not able to be found now.
She's 19 years old. And they said that when her friends was asking earlier today, like about 4 o'clock in the morning, because they used to run the video cameras, they said that they didn't have no cameras. But now I came and it was a lady. She said that she heard music, and she asked me that I want to go upstairs, and we went upstairs on the 11th floor, and it was someone came to the room, and she said that she did see my daughter there with a group of girls and a couple of guys, but that's all she just saw because she was busy trying to get reception on her phone.
All right, well then, you know what? Are you sure you don't mean the Crown Plaza in Rosemont?
Yes, yes it is. I'm sorry, the Crown Plaza in Rosemont. That's exactly where it's at.
And have you and you said you spoke with the
front desk? I'm sitting outside right in front of the hotel in a parking lot right now.
And they were saying that they haven't seen your daughter since she left, or?
No, this is a different set. This is a different it's a new shift. And they said that they haven't seen her. Well, of course, they wouldn't have seen her because this is like 3 or 4 in the morning. And I just seen that she was here because I just found the ticket where they entered this hotel. It was at 1:36 p.m. So hold on, this is not her ticket because this was on the 6th. My daughter wasn't here on the 6th.
Okay, and well, you know what, real quick, I'm just going to see if maybe I'm going to see if maybe she was here at all. What's your daughter's name?
Her name is Kanika Jenkins. The room wasn't registering her name. She came with some friends here.
No, I just want to verify. I'm about to say I actually just came in myself. Probably been on shift for about 45 minutes, so I just want to make sure that maybe she didn't get arrested and sent on her. You know what I mean? I just want to double check everything. But
thank you.
It doesn't look like we had any run-ins with her last night at all. Do you think it's possible maybe she went to one of her friends' houses, or?
No, actually, because she had my car. She was driving my car. She know I don't like nobody to drive my car because my insurance will not pay for nobody. Her friends kept calling my phone. I told them to stay out here. They stayed out here they called me like about 3-something in the morning. I was laying in the bed. I just had breast surgery. I fought breast cancer. So I'm, sedated off medication early. And they telling me she out here. So once I rejuvenated, to strengthen myself enough to get up and drive out here to look for her, once they brought me my car, I came right out here. And I came to the hotel, and I showed them a picture of her, and I asked them did they see it. And it was a lady in the lobby, and she heard me asking at the front desk, and she said it was music. She did hear music. She called the one downstairs to report the room, and come to find out it was the people next door. And when we knocked on the door, that person said that she did see my daughter downstairs it was like 4 of them, and she said my daughter, she was with 3 of her friends, but her 3 friends said, which then, these kids won't tell the truth. They said that they went upstairs to get her cell phone. And when they went to get her cell phone, she was standing in the lobby, in the front lobby. And then when they came back down, she wasn't there anymore.
She's only been gone for a couple hours. I don't know, maybe she could be somewhere with one of her friends or something, because, I mean, it is only a couple hours since you hadn't seen her, correct? Or since her friend supposedly hadn't seen her?
Correct. Let's say about 3 to 4 hours now. I'm so sorry, sir, but I just want to know, is it possible that maybe they can look at the cameras and see, it's because they send the police out here and ask them to look at the cameras and see if they've seen her on their cameras around that time?
I was about to say, even if I did send an officer, it would take a little bit in order for us to get the camera footage and for us to pass it on to the detectives division. Give her a couple hours. She could have went somewhere with one of her other friends. I mean, and who knows what her friends are saying is true. You know what I mean?
As the morning continued, Teresa stayed in constant motion, going back and forth between her home and the hotel, trying to get anyone to take her seriously, and hours passed. According to Teresa, neither the hotel nor the police seemed to be treating Kanika's disappearance as urgent. She repeatedly was told to wait, told that adults are allowed to go missing, and told that nothing could be done yet. Eventually, at around 12:30 p.m., Kanika's sister was finally allowed to file a missing persons report with the Rosemont Police Department. With the paperwork in hand, the family returned to the Crown Plaza Hotel, believing that they could finally force action, but when they arrived, they were told something else. Hotel staff said that they couldn't release surveillance footage, claiming that the report that they had wasn't valid because it didn't have a case number on it. Moments later, Kanika's sister received a phone call from police saying that the report was invalid for that exact reason. To Teresa, it was just another delay. After pleading with officers, one eventually agreed to come to the hotel. And according to the family, the officer went into the hotel office for 3 to 4 minutes before returning to tell them that there was no footage of Kanika entering or exiting the hotel. The family knew that this couldn't be true, but they had no choice but to accept what they were being told. By the late afternoon, Teresa stopped waiting for permission. She returned to the Crown Plaza with her daughter, Kanika's friends, and several other people who had been at the party the night before, and they began searching the hotel themselves, floor by floor. They were knocking on doors, they were asking guests questions, and they were retracing all of their steps. Hotel staff warned them that if they continued to disturb the guests, they were going to call the police and have them removed from the property. The family ignored these requests, and eventually the police did arrive, not to assist with the search for Kanika, but to question the group who was knocking on the doors. According to Teresa, officers asked about prior arrests, criminal histories, and the backgrounds of everybody that was there. She remembers thinking that the focus had shifted from finding Kanika to scrutinizing the people that were looking for her. At one point, an individual in the lobby told police that they had seen Kanika earlier in a lower level of the hotel with a group of men. The person who told them that was a trans woman. The family says that officers ignored this, and the group was eventually told to leave the hotel and assured that the police would search the premise and notify them if anything was found. Just a few hours later, Teresa's phone rang. It was the Rosemont Police Department, and they told her that Kanika had been found and that she was dead. Her body had been discovered in a walk-in freezer located in the lower level kitchen of the hotel. Teresa was allowed to go to the freezer to identify her daughter with one other person. And while she was in there, she wouldn't be allowed to touch anything, and she wasn't allowed to take any photos. Video was eventually released that later showed them running out of the kitchen, screaming after discovering Kanika's body only seconds after they walked in. For Teresa, all of the delays and the eventual finding of Kanika in the freezer only deepened the questions that she had. Police told the family that the case was simple. They said Kanika was intoxicated. They said that she wandered into the hotel's lower level. They said that she entered the freezer on her own, and they said that she became trapped inside and died from hypothermia, an accidental death. They claimed that there were no signs of foul play, no evidence of a struggle, but almost immediately, Teresa noticed that things didn't make sense. She was told that Kanika had scratches on her body, which she could visibly see when she went in, but police attributed this to her bumping into walls while she was intoxicated. She was told one of Kanika's shoes was found off, which police said was a side effect of hypothermia, but Teresa knew that hypothermia victims normally remove all of their clothing as they feel like they're burning up, not just one shoe. Then there was the freezer itself. According to Teresa, the door could only be locked from the outside, and inside the freezer was a white safety latch that was designed to open the door from within just by simply pressing on it. So if Kanika walked in on her own, why didn't she pull the lever? Then above the freezer, there was a security camera, and when Teresa asked to see the footage, she was told that the camera wasn't working, similar to how she had been told by the detective earlier that there was no footage of Kanika in the hotel at all. Before a full autopsy was completed, before independent experts could review evidence, and before the family had time to process what they were being told, police ruled Kanika Jenkins' death an accident. To Teresa, it felt rushed. The more questions she asked, the more resistance she got. According to her, officers started to become irritated, defensive, like they wanted the conversation to end. She left the hotel that day with no real answers, only the certainty that her daughter was gone and that something about the story didn't add up. Once Kanika's death was officially ruled an accident, the story should have ended there, but it didn't. Teresa Martin began posting on Facebook and going live on social media talking about the case, and the public reaction exploded. Thousands of people questioned how a 19-year-old woman could simply wander into a hotel freezer, lock herself inside, and die without anybody noticing. News stations picked up the story, protesters gathered outside the Crown Plaza Hotel, and the hotel released portions of their surveillance footage that they did have in an attempt to quiet the outrage. The footage that they released showed Kanika stumbling through the hallways alone. It showed her entering a kitchen area, but it never showed her entering the freezer. That missing moment became the center of the controversy. For many people watching, the video raised more questions than it answered. Why was she alone? Why didn't anyone in the hotel help her? Why was there no footage of her entering the freezer if that's exactly what happened? And why did they say there was no footage to begin with when they clearly did have footage? Kanika's mom wasn't satisfied with the reasoning behind the police calling this an accident, and she started demanding more answers. Over 36 hours of footage was eventually released, but still, there was no video of her actually entering the freezer.
Hours of new video are released revealing more about a woman found dead in a hotel freezer. CBS 2's Audrina Bigas joins us now. So you poured through this video. What is it showing us?
36 hours of video, and this was just released to us a few hours ago. This video shows Kanika Jenkins walking into the kitchen, but we never see her entering the freezer. And tonight, that is why her family is not satisfied with the theory that she walked into the freezer on her own. Surveillance video shows Kanika Jenkins walking with friends at the Crowne Plaza Hotel early Saturday morning. We see her a few hours later by herself. At one point, she stumbles out of an elevator. Later, she repeatedly hits the wall walking down this hallway. Another camera catches her running into a stairwell and then catching her fall. Video time codes appear to show Kanika roaming the hotel for over an hour.
She's trying to find her way, and no one from Crowne Plaza Hotel responds to her.
Around 3:30 a.m., Kanika enters a lower-level kitchen in the hotel. She walks out of frame, but then she's captured walking here on another camera. But we still don't see her entering the freezer.
I want to see her literally actually walking into this freezer and closing us up within this freezer.
Kanika Jenkins' mother wants to see it to believe it, but now we know that will not happen. According to the Crowne Plaza Hotel in Rosemont, there is no video of Kanika Jenkins walking into a freezer.
No one from Crowne Plaza Hotel responds to her.
We will get to the bottom of it. We will only go to where the facts lead us.
Last week, attorneys for Kanika's family said they would be conducting their own independent investigation. Today, attorney Larry Rogers Jr. toured the hotel for about an hour. A hotel spokesperson says Rogers took pictures inside, asked questions, and walked in all of the areas that video shows Kanika walking.
As more people analyzed the footage frame by frame, theories began to spread online. Some claim that they could see hands reaching for Kanika in the hallway, pulling and pushing her in the direction that they wanted to go, all while avoiding appearing on camera. Others believe that someone was following her, pointing to what they believe were people in the kitchen as she walked through, and some question the behavior of hotel security that was seen moving through restricted areas around the same time as Kanika was roaming around. And then there were the people who went even further than this. Conspiracies and rumors started to pop up online about organ harvesting, claims of a cover-up, speculation that powerful people were involved, including the man who owned the hotel. Most of it couldn't be proven, but the volume of discussion alone showed how deeply the public distrusted the official explanation given by police.
White hoodie, blue jacket. He could see Kanika through this little window right here. This window supposedly also has a person in it, and that's why it's black right there. Now Kanika's gonna walk in this door, and you're gonna see him look for her just a little bit, and once he see her get to this point, he gonna turn his face back straight.
Like he wasn't looking.
Like he wasn't looking.
Very closely. Boom! Right there. Play it again. You can see, she don't got 5 arms. Watch that shit. Boom! Somebody pull her back.
And play it, and 4 times I'm gonna keep looping it so you can see the hand. See the hand? Go back. Watch the hand. Watch the hand try to grab her. See it?
Regardless of which theories people believed, one thing was clear: this case wasn't going away. As the Kanika Jenkins case continued to dominate social media, one familiar name started popping up in the conversation: ZackTV. At first, Zack wasn't looking to create controversy or gain clout or anything like that. He approached the case the same way that he approached everything else that he did, by talking directly to the people who were involved. He interviewed Kanika's friends. He spoke with people who were at the hotel that night, including Irene, which was the girl whose birthday it was, and 2 of the men that were at the party as well. He just did what he normally did. He asked questions and then he listened. And almost every person that he spoke to said the same thing. They didn't believe the hotel story.
Who would have attacked Kanika? Warren Jenkins.
Probably was the creepy security dude. I don't think they harmed.
Do you think someone that was in the hotel harmed Kanika Jenkins?
Yeah, I think so. I really deeply in my heart think so.
Dude, don't tell her good times, man.
It's just the hotel fabric, just area, bro. It's like that's what I was just finna say. Yeah, it's like this shit okay. Won't work, bro.
It's like, okay, everybody seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre, man. Everybody seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre. In that movie, you learned Mama was in it, Uncle was in it, the cop, he was in it, everybody was in it.
Now, Zack didn't present himself as an expert on this case, and he wasn't claiming to have the answers, but he was asking the questions that it seemed like no one else wanted to ask. And as Zack dug deeper, strange things started to happen. He began receiving phone calls during his live streams from people claiming to have inside information. One woman called, naming names and warning him that the case was bigger than he realized. Another caller told him to fall back, told him that he was dealing with powerful people, and told him that he was putting himself in danger.
So why would these guys target Kenneka Jenkins out of everybody in that hotel?
Listen, there's another guy I'm get to. He's a police officer. His name is Paul Manning. See, I'm giving this information. I'm trying to get quickly.
I'm listening to you. I'm driving. I'm on the E-way driving to a video shoot, but I'm listening to you at the same time. Keep talking.
Okay, it's Paul Manning. You gotta look into him. It's MOBINFILTRATOR. That's another person to look.
Okay, and these are suspects, right?
Correct.
Okay, I got a question for you. Why out of everybody, why you coming to ZackTV instead of going to the police officers?
Because Zach, you said that you wanted to do this here.
Right.
You wanted to solve this here. I'm by myself. I don't have anybody. You just don't know.
Okay, tell me, do any of the friends have anything to do with it? Because I believe they don't have shit to do with it.
Oh, I believe they got a lot to do with it.
Whoa. You said the friends got something to do with it?
I think they do.
What the f? First off, I don't know how the f you got my number. No disrespect. I don't know.
I got your number off of the Twitter account. You had it in the Twitter account.
Nah, my business number is on Instagram. Instagram.
That's it. It was on Instagram.
So, and you call, hold up. You called me private because you don't want the police to get your number, right?
This is the thing. They've been watching me the whole time. They've been watching off of my tablet and my smart TV. They keep sending me kind of little messages. They're into the phone. Do you understand the company that did this whole thing? The man that's involved in this here, even his friend.
This is crazy.
It's deeper than what you think. They keep calling my house.
Hold on.
Because listen, there are cameras in these smart TVs. There's technology that we don't even know about. You understand? They even tell you it's in your phone. Those black screens, it's in your phone. There's a camera. They're watching you every day.
I didn't know this, man. You see what I'm saying, bro? I'm telling you, Zach. Fall back, bro.
You know, everybody know, I got the Irene interview, and I got 3 more powerful interviews. I really want to drop them and leave this shit alone. But my life been threatened numerous times. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't drop this shit. You drop it, you put the hotel in danger. All type of other shit I don't even talk about. I just stay with the rappers now. But should I just drop it and say what everybody got to say?
Man, I'm going to leave it up to you, man. What you need to do, don't ask me, man. You need to go into prayer, man. You need to ask the universal Most High God what you should do. The reason why you got kicked off of Facebook, bro, because you can help put the pieces together. See, the organ harvester people, they make their money. So by you putting out what's going on with the organ harvesting people, you interfere with their business. You interfere with their money. They don't want your message out to the world. They don't want nobody's message out to the world. Anybody that's against them, bro, they gonna get you.
At first, some viewers thought that these calls were staged, but Zack's demeanor changed. He didn't laugh it off. He didn't play into it. He looked genuinely shaken. He openly admitted to his audience that his life had been threatened on numerous occasions, and for the first time, Zack said something that caught people's attention. He said that he was thinking about leaving the case alone.
I don't want no parts in this. I'm done. It's getting spooky, it's getting crazy. Every second is some new information. Every other day is some other shit going on with it. I don't know. Like, a lot of people told me plenty of times before to leave this case alone. Finish getting my money and go on with life. That has nothing to do with Zack. Leave it alone. You understand what I'm saying? Numerous times, like 1,000 times. On the street, people in the industry, people that's connected. Everybody was telling me to just leave it alone.
Before stepping away completely, Zack shared what he believed may have happened. He didn't accuse Kanika's friends. He didn't claim it was some elaborate conspiracy. Instead, he focused on access. Who knew the building? Who controlled the cameras? Who had access to the restricted areas? And Zack pointed towards hotel security and maintenance, not as confirmed suspects, but as people who would have the ability to move around the hotel unnoticed. To Zack, this story wasn't supernatural, it was procedural, and that made it even more unsettling.
I ain't going to sleep until, I figured the case out. On a plane, I was putting two and two together. I was reading, I was looking at on my laptop. I was looking at evidence, videos from interviews, and a lot of didn't add up, and a lot of did add up. First off, we're gonna talk about fact number one. Fact number one: Irene and Monifa, or none of the kids in that room, are savage, and savvy. They aren't savage or savvy enough to pull off a heinous crime like that, of that nature. I'm not saying Monifa is dumb. I'm not saying Irene is dumb, but they don't got that type of intelligence. Their IQ level isn't on that type of upper echelon to do something like that. Not saying they're dumb, but we really realistically thinking. For number two, Kanika did not die in room 926. Let me get this out of here. Let me say this. Kanika did not die in room 926. Kanika died in a Kanika died downstairs. You understand what I'm saying? I just want to put that out there. I saw my saying like, yo, she died upstairs and they carried her down. No, her friends did not have anything to do with her death. You understand what I'm saying? Even after I reviewed the tapes, because I said, yo, I saw the dude that I interviewed, I saw him walking in the hallway. You understand? I had to put two and two together. You understand? But shorty ain't had nothing to do with it. Just think, my isn't that dumb to take it to a full establishment with cameras is everywhere, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't make sense. In an enclosed indoor space, which is the hotel, that's filled with hundreds of guests, and we risking our chance of someone seeing them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that don't make sense. What reason would they have to delete or edit any footage that shows the kids was in restricted areas? People were saying, oh, we see somebody with a blue sweater, we see somebody behind it. Like I didn't see, I don't know if y'all mad playing tricks on y'all. Like, I didn't see anybody in the basement with her, like, far as the guys that was in the room. I ain't see none of that shit. So when y'all talking that shit, oh, I see this, I see that, I just think y'all tweaking. But y'all know who was down there with her? Security. When you're in a building like that, you got to think, how do you get access? Who have access to unrestricted areas? Security. Who know the building more than anybody else in that motherfucker? Security. You know, pay attention to that footage, because in that footage, you know who you see a lot? The security guard. You know who else you see a lot? The maintenance man. Y'all ain't thinking about that. Y'all so busy stuck on let's look for Monifa, let's look for the gas. Like, y'all missing a lot of good points. Reasons why it wasn't the owner, or he wasn't like doing the organ trafficking, as y'all be saying and shit like that. The owner is filthy rich. We all know that. Like, he have numerous establishments. You understand what I'm saying? Like, so why would he want a couple hundred, a couple thousand from one particular black girl? That's like a big time drug dealer who sell pounds for a living, risking serving a nickel bag of weed to get caught. that don't make any sense.
By this point, Zach had already said publicly that he was wanting to be done with the Kenneka Jenkins case, and behind the scenes, he told people close to him that things were getting strange, that the calls were too specific, that too many people were suddenly telling him to leave it alone, and so he did. He went back to what he knew, interviewing rappers, documenting the culture, staying neutral, and staying mobile. But even after he stepped away, the connection had already been made. And in the public's eyes, ZackTV was now linked to the Kenneka Jenkins case, whether he wanted that association or not. And once your name is attached to something this controversial, it just doesn't disappear. And what happened next would only work to deepen that rabbit hole.
A popular YouTube personality is gunned down while driving through Chicago's Printers Row neighborhood. He's identified as Zach Stoner, known on YouTube as ZackTV1. Around 1 in the morning, police say a gunman in another car pulled up alongside Stoner's vehicle near Clark and Polk Streets. Multiple shots were fired. Stone was hit at least once in the head, then lost control of his vehicle, crashing into a light pole. A witness, several stories up, posted this Twitter video moments after the crash. It appears to show a group of people at the scene getting into another vehicle, then driving off before police arrived.
Witnesses say this is cell phone video just moments after YouTube star Zachary Stoner was shot and killed early this morning. In the video, you see several people piling into a car and taking off.
I went to the window immediately with my cell phone because I could hear people screaming, and I thought, oh God, like what happened?
Police say 30-year-old Stoner was shot in the head and or neck while driving and then crashed into a light pole. He was taken to Northwestern Memorial Hospital where he was pronounced dead. Over in South Suburban Harvey, his neighbors are stunned.
He was always a good person, and to hear that something like that happen it's heartbreaking.
He felt that everybody should have a voice. So he tried to be the voice for everybody, those that didn't have a voice. This is going to be a tremendous loss, not just for our family, but for Chicago as a whole.
In the early morning hours of May 30th, 2018, Zach Stoner was shot and killed in Chicago's South Loop. According to police, Zach was driving when another vehicle pulled up alongside him and opened fire. His SUV veered off the road and crashed into a pole. And by the time officers arrived at the scene, Zach was still inside the vehicle but unresponsive. He was rushed to the hospital, but his injuries were too severe. Zach was pronounced dead just a few hours later. And not long after the shooting, a video surfaced online that immediately caught people's attention. It was recorded from a nearby high-rise building and showed the aftermath of the crash from above. In the footage, Zach's vehicle can be seen wrecked at the intersection, and moments later, several people are seen moving away from the scene, running from his car and jumping into another car and leaving before the police arrived. That video fueled speculation about what happened almost immediately because from the outside looking in, it raised questions people still debate till this day. Why was Zach left behind, and what exactly happened in those moments after the shots were fired? But what really pushed rumors into overdrive was who Zach was and what he had been involved in leading up to his death. By the time Zach was killed, he had spent months publicly digging into the Kenneka Jenkins case, questioning the official explanation, reviewing the security footage, interviewing people connected to the night, and speaking openly about the inconsistencies that didn't sit right with him. And once his life was taken, a lot of people immediately believed that these two stories were connected, especially when they looked at the details surrounding Kenneka's death in the months that followed. When the autopsy results were finally released, it was confirmed that Kenneka died from hypothermia, but it was also revealed that she had topiramate in her system, which is a medication typically used to treat seizures. Kenneka was not prescribed this drug. Not only is it used to treat seizures, it's also known to intensify the effects of alcohol and increase disorientation, sedation, and vulnerability to cold climates. For many people following the case, that single detail made the official explanation harder to accept. It raised the question, was Kenneka simply intoxicated even though her friend said she only had one drink, or was she drugged? And that question tied directly into another detail that never went away. On the night that Kenneka went missing, a trans woman in the hotel lobby reportedly told the police that she had seen Kenneka downstairs with a group of men. We heard Kenneka's mom say that on the 911 call. According to those that were present, this woman's statement was dismissed and never seriously followed up on. And that detail stuck because it lined up with the feeling that Teresa kept saying from day one, that somebody inside that hotel knew more than they were admitting and nobody in power was trying to dig for the truth. Then more footage came out and the internet does what it always does. People slowed down, zoomed in, circled frames, and started pointing out things that they believed were signs of foul play. Security guards became a big part of that. One guard was caught on camera sprinting through the halls around the time Kenneka disappeared, moving like something had happened that he didn't want on record. And another guard was seen going door to door with towels in his hands, trying door handles like he was attempting to enter rooms. And that raised eyebrows too, because handing out towels isn't usually security's job, and he seemed to be trying to go into all rooms. At the same time, people started resurfacing hotel reviews where guests claimed that a strange man tried to come into their room at night, and some even said that the hotel gave someone a key that could open multiple rooms. And the more that people saw, the more the vibe shifted from tragic accident to something weird is happening in this building. But truthfully, the scariest part of all of it wasn't the hallway footage. It was the kitchen, because once police finally located Kenneka, there was another person in the area that the internet locked onto immediately, a guy that people started calling the morgue guy. He's seen in the kitchen while police are there with the medical team, and he's around the scene and he's part of the aftermath. And at one point, the room clears out and he's the only one left in there. And when he's the only one left in there, he turns and stares directly into the camera in an ominous way. And later on, that same morgue guy ended up getting arrested on an unrelated case. But what made people's heads spin is who he was arrested with. He was arrested with the same trans woman that was trying to tell the police that she seen Kenneka with men in the lobby, but was ignored. Now, this connection didn't prove anything about Kenneka's death, but it gave the internet exactly what it feeds on: a real life overlap between two figures that were already wrapped up inside the mystery, right? Their link simply couldn't be ignored. But that's not the only weird thing that happened in this case, right? One of the biggest names that was involved with this case was Kenneka's uncle, a man named Jonathan Jackson, also known as J Money. He became one of the loudest advocates pushing for answers. You can see him on surveillance footage at the hotel, talking to security, moving around, even appearing in the kitchen area, which is the last place that Kenneka was seen alive, pacing back and forth like he was searching for clues about what happened to her. And then in March of 2018, the same month Zack died, Kenneka's uncle was killed. He was shot to death inside of his vehicle, just like Zack. So at this point, a pattern was starting to form. Kenneka died in a case that was full of unanswered questions. Her uncle becomes outspoken, then ends up dead. Zack goes hard on a case and then ends up dead. And that still wasn't the end of it, because another man took an interest in this case and started going live about it nonstop. His name was Stephen Ward, known online as OT Head. OT Head was one of the loudest voices online who refused to let the case closed narrative sit, similar to how Zack was doing. He'd go live, break down footage, talk about missing angles, and keep coming back to the same thing. The cameras showed her entering the kitchen, but there was never footage of her going into that freezer. And to him, this gap was important. He would go live for hours talking about it, saying that he was going to expose what he believed was being hidden. And then OT Head ended up dead as well, shot multiple times in his car, just like Zack. And at this point is where the Kenneka theory around Zack's death really took off, because at this point, people weren't just looking at Zack's murder as a random Chicago headline. They were looking at the pattern. And in a lot of people's mind, the conclusion was pretty simple. He got too close, he got too loud, he dug too deep. And whether you believe that or not, that was the atmosphere around Zack's death after it all went down. And I know it all sounds wild until you realize how all of the details line up. But there's a second storyline that explains Zack's murder in a way that doesn't require Kenneka's case at all. A storyline that starts with the night that he was killed, who he was with, where he had just left, and what was happening inside the club that he was at before the shots that took his life ever rang out. And once you hear that version, you understand why this story has stayed so divided ever since. Because there's compelling information when it comes to Kenneka and Zack, but there's also compelling information when it comes to this theory, right? So on May 29th, 2018, Zack was at Refuge nightclub in Chicago for an independent showcase event organized by Chicago entrepreneur King Dave. King Dave was throwing a party where he showcased local Chicago talent, and the lineup was stacked with underground artists, the same type of talent that Zack had spent years documenting, supporting, and putting on through his platform. And according to King Dave, the performer list was already finalized when Zack called him with a request. He wanted to add one more artist to the lineup, and that artist was AMG Fresh.
You know, he was at my show that night. I had an indie show, all Chicago artists. And it was a peaceful night, great event. All the artists showed up, performed, made a lot of money that night. Zack wanted to bring an artist, his homie. And he just got back from Vegas. He called me last minute. I was telling other artists, like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm booked, it's already done. So he called me and he had somebody he wanted to perform, and I'm like, bring them, you good. Gave them time, they came, showed up, left the show, something happened, and he ended up dead, you know what I'm saying? I was in tears, I ain't gonna lie. I ain't did another show since that.
AMG Fresh was a Chicago rapper tied to the Wild 100s in Altgeld Gardens area. The name AMG itself carried multiple meanings depending on who you asked. It stood for Achieve My Goals, the Altgeld Money Getters, and a couple of other definitions, but the name had real street weight attached to it, and Zack had been building a relationship with AMG Fresh for years prior to this event. You can even see Fresh pop up in some of his earlier vlogs and spitting bars for the camera.
All that gangster talking, I am not aroused. I grew up with killers, them gorillas, and them crocodiles. Snitching is forbidden. Where I'm from, the cops is not allowed, but they extra hot, cause last week them goofy shot a out. If it ain't the block, I'm in Louis like I came to shop. My shooters even stylish, they get flying like the paint the Glocks.
Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going.
Call janitors because they like to hit a stain with mops. And I'm getting chips cause every bar spit is flaming hot. I keep those weapons cause the street's so hectic. I have my shorties take your chain and say this Debo necklace. I was young smacking old G-code checking. I travel anywhere to be. Like I'm Rico Reckless, your boy. I teach those lessons. I shoot the Draco through the door if I peep-pose presence cause I'm the one and only. Ain't no next in my lane. I got stripes and I'm official. Like I'm reffing the game, y'all. I'm already dogging. I ain't flexing for fame, you hit my DM, I add an X to her name. And even though she kinda dumb, God blessed her with brains, so before she left, she got a bag, like when you exit a plane. Whoa.
Now, Zack didn't come to the Refuge Club that night to party. He came to support Fresh, to film, to document, to put him on like he always did. But Fresh wasn't the only person with Zack that night. He had another artist with him named T Streets. T Streets was another Chicago rapper, someone that Zack had interviewed before and someone that he was cool with. Their relationship started after T Streets won a freestyle competition that Zack was holding.
Man, Streets here, winner of the ZackTV 1 freestyle battle. Tell them a little bit about yourself, Streets.
Well, man, T Street, SB, man, State Boy, risk taker, 114, man. Y'all know we out here.
Acting tough, but I had the streets raise me. Made 3-0, been a street. Baby, streets what they call me. Killer on occasions, kill 'em with the flow. They hit the flow from the K-clips. Don't think I'm schizo cause I'm seeing dead presidents. First $100 bill I saw had me addicted ever since. On state with them state boy, ain't hard to find me. All my ready for war. Them brand me on front line, right by my side. They ain't behind me. Click clack will come after that, leave you salami.
T Streets was also from the Wild 100s area and repped a group called State Boys. State Boys and Goontown, or 10-5, were plugged in with each other heavy, so that helped to strengthen their friendship.
And you know, 10-5 and State Boys, that's T Streets and them, they had something going on, like they was together.
What's the difference between the rest of Chicago and the Wild Hunters, man, in y'all personal opinion? What's the difference?
I'm back. We always hear the same thing that it be dangerous. I mean, you know they drill, everybody drill, but I drill different, man.
You ain't from here, don't come here.
Listen, for a motherfucker that never been to Chicago, don't know nothing about Chicago, what's some of the worst areas in the Hunters, man?
Man, from 119th to 111th, house at the Michigan, this the 100.
Everywhere.
We ain't associate with nobody else.
Both T Streets and AMG Fresh were in the car the night Zack died. And in the footage we seen of people running away from the car that was recorded by a bystander, that's who we see leaving. Apparently, that night, there was some tension in the club between AMG Fresh and some other people. Well, AMG didn't really know there was tension as Zack spent the night attempting to stop them from ruining Fresh's performance, but there was tension, and according to AMG Bell D, Zack overheard a group of men in the crowd talking about Fresh. They were pointing him out, discussing him, talking about doing something to him while he was up on the stage. And apparently one of the comments that Zack heard was about Fresh's street affiliations. They were questioning who he beefed with and whether he was tied into certain sets that they didn't like. Zack immediately recognized where this was heading and stepped in.
Okay. A lot of people don't know that ZackTV was really at the event really for T Streets and AMG Fresh. He was really, they was a team. AMG Fresh, ZackTV, and T Streets. T Streets and Fresh lived right across the street from each other. Okay. So they was really building their relationship. ZackTV was in the midst of that. He went down there to really, you know what I'm saying, help folks them, you know what I'm saying, to promote what they had going on, and he overheard motherfuckers saying what they was gonna do to him. And he was stopping that shit. He stopped motherfuckers from getting on the stage and up Fresh performance.
According to Bell D, Zack de-escalated the situation. He talked to the group and convinced them not to jump on the stage, and the performance kept going. But the energy in the building had shifted and Zack felt it, and that's when he decided that him, AMG Fresh, and T Streets needed to leave. AMG Fresh's girlfriend was also with them as it was her birthday, and this kind of doubled as a birthday celebration for her. Zack exited the club before the event was over because he didn't feel right about the whole situation, and he went outside and waited near his vehicle. When AMG Fresh finally came out of the building, Zack told him that they needed to leave with urgency. According to Bell D, Zack was telling Fresh to get in the car immediately. He wasn't asking, he wasn't suggesting, he was telling him to get into the vehicle. Apparently, Fresh didn't understand the urgency. It was his girl's birthday. The night was supposed to be a celebration, and from his perspective, everything was fine. Because keep in mind, he didn't know that there was tension in the building. Eventually, AMG Fresh did get into Zack's Jeep. T Streets and Fresh's girl was also in the car with them. And as soon as Fresh got inside the vehicle, people that were standing outside noticed. So they knew exactly what car he was in.
He heard motherfuckers saying what they was about to do to Fresh and who out the Bam in the third, and he told them like, nah, we ain't here for that. You know what I'm saying? They was about to get on the stage and Zack stopped them like, please don't do this. Zack left a little early before the show ended so he can be outside on the front waiting for Fresh. When Fresh came out, he was telling Fresh get his ass in the car, but it was Fresh's girl's birthday. And Zack was telling him to get in the car, showed him his pipe and everything, like, no, get your ass in the car, own that with you. Like, he showed Fresh his pipe and told Fresh, get your ass in the car, because Fresh thought it was a game. And motherfuckers supposedly saying Fresh getting up in that car. You know what I'm saying? And that's what made them get on that car.
Zack drove a short distance away, just a couple of blocks, and the plan was simple. He was gonna drop Fresh and his girlfriend off at their car and leave. They made it to the car. Fresh's girlfriend got out and switched vehicles, but Zack didn't pull off immediately. Instead, he stayed. He wanted to explain to AMG Fresh about everything that had just happened inside the club. He wanted Fresh to understand how close things had come to turning violent.
He got to the car. They made it to Fresh car and parked right in front of it. Fresh girl was in the front seat. T Streets and Fresh was in the back seat. And she hopped out the car when they pulled up and got in their car and started it. And Zack chose to tell them the little shit that he was telling them right then and there instead of leaving. ZackTV died saving Fresh, bro.
So while Zack's Jeep was stopped, another vehicle pulled up alongside of him and gunfire erupted. Multiple shots were fired. The windshield was hit, Zack was struck, one bullet hit him in the shoulder, another hit him behind his ear, and the Jeep veered off the road and slammed into a pole. According to reports, either AMG Fresh or T Streets had returned fire, but Zack never had the chance to. His gun that he kept with him was later found under his driver's seat, unfired. Dave, the guy who was hosting the event, said that he was able to hear the shots that took ZackTV's life.
You know, I was standing outside and heard the shots.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. I say, damn, somebody got fucked up down there. Excuse me. 15 minutes later, chick FaceTime me, showing me. They putting Zack on the stretcher, crying. I'm like, Zack? Fuck. Literally was like a block and a half away.
Yeah.
I'm standing in the front, paying my DJs, like DJ Amaris. Yeah, me and DJ Amaris out there. I'm like, man, you get paid, they give you the money? I gave somebody else the money. He like, yeah, then we boom, 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 boom. I'm finna get the fuck about it. I'm like, yeah, they just somebody up down there. Never knew that was Zack. till I got that call.
In the immediate aftermath, AMG Fresh and T Streets got out of the wrecked vehicle. They ran to Fresh's girlfriend's car, which was nearby, and left the scene. And that's the video that we saw. From this perspective, if it's really the reason Zach was killed, then he wasn't targeted for his journalism. He wasn't targeted for his investigations. He was just caught in a moment of street violence sparked by tension inside a club while trying to stop this exact thing from happening. It frames his death as a result of one night, one decision, and one moment where Zach chose to step in instead of stepping away. And it really leaves you with the hardest truth of all, which is that Zach didn't die chasing a story. He died being exactly who he's always been. Someone trying to keep the peace in a place where peace never lasts. Almost immediately after Zach's death, there was another narrative that started spreading online that Zach had been backdoored or set up by his homies. Bloggers, most notably ZackTV, began saying that people in Chicago believe Zach may have been set up by one or both of the people that were in the car with him that night. The logic was simple and brutal. Zach was killed, they survived and were seen fleeing the scene, leaving Zach alone. And in Chicago, that's all it really takes to start a rumor.
He out here supporting the dirty ass artists out here. Not all the artists is dirty, but some dirty ass artists he out here supporting, and there's dirty going on at the moment, you know? And Zach leaves the club, bro. When he walks out the club, the cameras caught Zach in a flurry. According to these reports, Zach in the flurry is they see Zach in an altercation in the club. He get in an argument with people in the club, all kind of shit, then he loses his life. The reason nobody knew, because everybody, you know, it's strong with the shut your mouth. Chicago backdoor as hell. That shit dangerous as hell. You know, that irritates me to know that Zach helped everybody and nobody gonna stand up for Zach. I ain't saying go tell or go snitch, but I'm just saying, you know, it's dirty out here, Kim, you know. I'm up smoky and act like they ain't do it, man.
As that narrative spread, the pressure intensified. T Streets would later go live saying that police were questioning him directly because bloggers kept pushing this backdoor theory online.
Hell yeah, I got it online. Just see, I'm walking in here. I ain't that shit. I ain't that shit. I'm up here in District 5. Cause tweaking. Oh yeah, you know it's fuck these man. I ain't worried about these. It's just they got the police coming knocking on my door because these goofy ass bloggers want to keep on putting my name in it, man. Like they know what the fuck going on.
But here's where that story really starts to fall apart, because if this was a setup, if Zach had been intentionally lined up by his homies, then what happened next really didn't make any sense. Because just 1 week after Zach was killed, T Streets was shot and killed. Then, just over a year later, AMG Fresh was also shot and killed. 3 men who were all in the car that night, and now they were all dead.
The people that was in that car, and you know, they dead right now. So, you know, AMG Fresh, you know, he passed away. Streets got killed the week Zach got killed. So, you know, those are the only 3 people that can tell you the story of who it was and what happened.
So if Zach had been set up by the people closest to him that night, it's hard to explain why they were targeted too, unless it was revenge for that. But the people around them, the artists, the friends, and those who knew the relationship all said the same thing, that there was no beef, they never had a fallout, and they had genuine love for each other. Eventually, 5 individuals were identified and arrested in connection with the shooting. All of them were young, between 19 and 23 years old, and all were tied to the Perry Avenue area, a group that had a long-standing beef and tension with people connected to the Wild 100s. For a moment, it looked like the case was finally moving forward. People thought, this is it. Someone is finally going to get held responsible, but that never did happen, because when this case reached the Cook County State's Attorney's Office, prosecutors made a very controversial decision and decided that they weren't going to press charges. The reason that they gave was something called mutual combat. Under Illinois law, mutual combat means that both sides willingly engaged in a violent encounter, essentially agreeing to participate in a shootout. And according to prosecutors, that's exactly what happened here. The argument was that shots were fired from the vehicle that pulled up on Zach. Shots were also fired from Zach's Jeep, and because gunfire came from both sides, the situation couldn't be prosecuted as a one-sided homicide.
Zach had people charged with his death, Kim. It was people charged with Zach's death, but they let him go. They said this was mutual combat. They say they don't know who shot first, who shot this, who did that, so they let everybody go, okay?
Instead, it was treated as a street conflict where multiple parties agreed to participate. Kind of like how they did back in the Wild West when cowboys would have duels. Once prosecutors classified the shooting as mutual combat, it gave them legal cover to say, we can't prove criminal intent beyond a reasonable doubt for any one shooter. And without that, there can't be a trial. No jury, no verdict, no justice, at least not in the courtroom. To a lot of people watching from outside, the explanation didn't sit right because Zach wasn't a gang member. He didn't have beef with anyone, and he wasn't looking for violence. He was driving, and then he was killed. So the idea that his death could be written off as mutual combat felt insulting to a lot of people, especially his supporters, because if that logic stands, then it raises a bigger question. If shots are exchanged from one car to another, does that mean that no one can ever be held responsible? Does it mean that retaliatory shooting becomes legally untouchable as long as the bullets go both ways? The frustration only grew when people realized something else. Zach's gun, the one that he openly admitted to carrying for protection, was found under his driver's seat, unfired. He never got the chance to use it, so that just made the mutual combat ruling feel even more disconnected from reality. But even so, despite the arrest, despite the footage that we got, despite the people that they know were involved, the case stalled. The suspects were released, and officially, ZackTV's murder still remains unsolved. Now, 2 of the 5 people that were arrested were killed shortly after being released, but that unresolved ending is exactly why so many people continue to debate why Zach really died and ultimately what led to that moment in the street in the early morning hours of May 30th, 2018. Before Zach ever became a headline, he was a believer. One thing that gets lost in all the controversy is that Zach never believed that drill music had to be made and fueled by beef to work. He genuinely believed in the rappers that he was interviewing, and he believed in their talent without the disses, without the street politics. In multiple interviews, Zach made it clear that the music alone was enough.
Do you think sometimes they need it for the music? They need these?
No, these guys make incredible songs without the diss records. These guys got incredible songs, man. I'm a huge fan of Duck. I'm a huge fan of E-Day. They motherfuckers make nice music, man.
At a time when violence was being rewarded with views, Zach was trying to push a different idea that artists could still win off skill, personality, and authenticity, not just off of their street conflicts. That was Zach. He was trying to build something that could last for people who didn't have any other outlets. And that mindset that Zach had is really why his loss hit so hard for so many people, because he didn't just influence artists. He influenced the culture. He influenced other journalists, especially ones who followed in his footsteps, like Sean Cotton from Say Cheese, right? Sean has been open about how Zach's death affected him personally and professionally. After Zach was killed, Sean said that he immediately changed how he moved. He started wearing a bulletproof vest. He began carrying a firearm everywhere he went. And eventually, he stopped popping out to do these hood vlogs altogether.
A Fort Worth man is making a living going into neighborhoods most find unsafe to tell stories about gang life. Sean Cotton runs the YouTube channel Say Cheese TV and regularly visits high crime neighborhoods looking for stories about street gangs and gang-affiliated rappers. The 28-year-old quit his $7 per hour job cleaning refrigerators 6 years ago to document gang life. But danger is part of the job. Cotton wears a bulletproof vest and got a license to carry after a well-known Chicago blogger, Zach Stoner, was killed doing the same work just last year.
I hate that I have to bring this with me sometimes. License to carry. You know, I didn't have it until Zach got killed.
Zach is Zach Stoner, who ran a popular YouTube channel chronicling black cultural life on the streets of Chicago. He was shot and killed in a still unsolved drive-by shooting last year in May. And Cotton says his death made it clear how dangerous this line of work can be.
I wear it, you know, for safety reasons. You know, after my homie ZackTV, you know, got killed, I kind of took in consideration to be more safe when I'm out in, you know, poverty areas doing interviews.
But locals say the stories Zach was telling desperately need to be told.
I say what Chicago lost was a guy
who gave Chicago a platform on the culture of the street culture and the struggles and the raw reality what goes on every day in these Chicago neighborhoods.
But Cotton has seen some of the young rap artists he's interviewed get record deals, and he also says his videos show a side of life that never shows up on mainstream media.
Cotton says that he gives rappers like 30 Rich the chance to change the narrative about his lifestyle, and he provides an unfiltered look at how life and rap music can intersect in the toughest neighborhoods in our country. Critics, though, say these types of videos glorify gang violence, but Cotton says the rewards outweigh the risks.
You talked about, because remember you had that pink Corvette.
Yeah.
They used to drive around, and you got rid of it after his murder.
Yeah, I got rid of that man. I got rid of it. And then stopped doing outside interviews too. You don't catch me really doing vlogs too. That's the dumbest thing I've ever done.
Yeah.
I look back, I'm like, New Orleans, Chicago, Brick City, Steve Drive, like really in Chicago, like really in Baltimore, really in St. Louis, like the worst cities. I'm thinking to myself, like, what was I doing?
Street journalism didn't end after Zack, but it changed for forever because people got more cautious, more calculated, more distant. The raw, up close, fearless style that Zack was known for became rare because everybody had just seen what it cost. ZackTV wasn't perfect, but he was real. He showed up, he stayed neutral, he gave voices to people that nobody else wanted to give a voice to, and he did it in a city where he knew full well what it could cost him. Whether you believe his death was street violence or something deeper, or a tragic mix of both, one thing is undeniable. ZackTV changed the media landscape for forever. And long after the rumors fade and long after the debates stop, his work is still going to be here. His impact is still going to be felt, and his name still gets spoken with respect by most people that talk about him. Rest in peace to ZackTV.